Good morning, everyone. We are Judith and Mara, two biomedical engineering students from the University of Pompeu Fabra, and today we are here to talk about a TFG of another student called Aaron Vilalta related to a market study of mobile arm supports. So, to put you in context, muscular dystrophy is a worldwide known genetic pathology that causes weakness and progressive degeneration in the skeletal muscle, which is used for the voluntary movements. So, depending on the type and the severity of the dystrophy, it can reduce the life expectancy of a person a lot. It is estimated to affect 3.6 over 10,000 people worldwide, or 250,000 individuals in the United States, and therefore it is a considerable amount of affected people for us, biomedical engineers, to try to develop different strategies not to cure, but to make these people's life easier and more comfortable. The most common types of muscular dystrophies are Duchenne muscular dystrophy, Becker muscular dystrophy, myotonic dystrophy, among others. As you may imagine, corporations have already been aware of this potential necessity and thus creating a solution, mobile arm supports, or also called MAS. These act as an assistive technology to improve the autonomy, the independence, and the rehabilitation of people with muscle weakness. Nowadays, there are three categories of MAS: passive arm supports, which are body powered supports, actively adjustable passive arm supports, and active arm supports, which are the robotic ones. In Spain, there are more than 34,700 patients that can use MAS to improve their upper limb functionality. Looking at the highest estimated value, a total number of 62,732 individuals could become users of MAS, but this number could be higher. However, in Spain, there are no commercially accessible MAS for patients with muscle weakness, and these devices are not found in the catalog of assistive technology prescribed by the National Health System. Otherwise, there are other countries like Netherlands, Germany, the United Kingdom, or the USA that have several companies working in the commercialization and distribution of this type of devices. And in consequence, the government of these countries facilitates the access of these devices to patients with muscular dystrophy or similar pathologies through a medical prescription under public subventions. Just to put you a little bit in context, here we are showing you a table where you can see different companies of different countries and the different prices of the commercialized MAS devices that they have. As a result, there are a total number of 24 MAS available in the market.
For a medical device to be commercialized and open to the public in the EU, they must achieve the CE marking, which stands for the European Confirmation. To reach it, however, many regulatory laws and quality checks must be passed on successfully. This depends on the classification of the medical device to be distributed and the own sanitary authorities of each country. To assess the quality, safety, and performance of the device, documentation about the prototype, testing, design, and other important information about the device is provided to the authorities. However, scientific opinions or further quality and safety testing may be carried out by the authorities in case it is needed. Once the authorities are notified and are satisfied with the device, it will be able to reach the CE marking, having then access to distribute and commercialize their product in countries in the European Union. Depending on the type of class of medical device, this process can take from months to up to a couple of years depending on the risk and quality procedures. Seeing that the Netherlands predomine in the distribution and commercialization of masses, and it is also located in the European Union, why are they being so successful there but we cannot have these medical devices in Spain? One of the main differences between the commercialization process and are the authorities that are notified to approve the CE marking. In the case of Spain, the notified body is the Ministerio de Sanidad, while the certification is given by the Agencia Española de Medicamentos y Productos Sanitarios, the AEMS. Therefore, it is to believe that these organizations have different opinions or resources to commercialize this product, such as the prevalence of the disease or the financial capability, since this type of medical devices are subsidized by the government in Spain. Therefore, the main differences are social and economic issues, since regulatory laws and the commercialization process is the same for both countries. For example, in the Netherlands, the healthcare system supports a lot this type of medical devices, while in Spain this happens the opposite, so they tend to be very expensive to patients. In Spain, MAS are considered orthoprosthetics as assistive technology, marked by the Real Decreto 1030/2006. So, taking into account this classification, first to approve and reach the authorities for this medical device, first what we would need to do is to pass the regulatory laws. That would be the Real Decreto 1591/2009 and the Regulation 2017-745 that establish the regulation for all of this type of medical devices. Then they would be classified as a medical device class 1, and then they need to reach the certification by the Spanish authorities. So the Ministerio de Sanidad would be the notified body in this case, and after they check that everything has enough quality, is safe, etc., the certification would be given by the IMs. Then, having this certification, we can reach the CE marking, and once we have the CE marking, the medical device can be accessible to be distributed and commercialized in patients by healthcare systems in the European Union. Another thing to notice is that in the Catálogo General de Material Ortoprotésico, which is a list of medical devices that are inside this category, MAS are not included. So in this list of medical devices, what it is stated is how much money can the health system finance. So since the MAS are not included because they are not commercialized here, there is a need to find how much money can the healthcare system give, so that it is not so expensive for patients and that they can afford it.
It may seem surprising, but there is almost nothing commercially available in Spain similar to MAS. First, there are support arms, but that ones do not help the patient to perform any kind of movement. And then there are exoskeletons. First, you need to know that exoskeletons for the lower extremities are developed and exist on the market, but there are few options for the same purpose for the upper extremities. However, in Spain, there exist few companies that produce upper limb exoskeletons, although not taking into account a medical purpose. These companies are dedicated to the ergonomics of work positions that require prolonged activities, and to be more specific, to people that have to stand with their arms up for a long time, like a car mechanic, for example. Although these devices are not manufactured with a medical purpose, they could be adapted to people with muscle weakness. On the other hand, there are some prototypes or recent exoskeletal models around the world for the upper limbs that are not commercially available in Spain, like the exoskeleton created in the Aalborg University, or the Alex exoskeleton, or the Armis, or the Clever Arm, among others. However, we have to take into account that exoskeletons are more expensive than mobile arm supports, so MAS would be a better option for patients with muscle weakness or muscular dystrophies.
So in conclusion, we can say that MAS are necessary in Spain since every year more people are in need of this type of medical devices. Also, we think that it is a long-term investing because since there are no business here with MAS, it could be a good start to open a company, start to distribute MAS because there is no competition at first, and also we have seen that there are no regulatory limitations. So what we mean with that is that MAS are a legit medical device built from Spain laws. So there are no legal complications because they fit exactly in all of the Real Decretos and different laws that Spain has for medical devices. So the regulation would be not a limit for this type of medical device to be commercialized here in Spain. So thanks for your attention, and we hope you learned something.